Welcome to our weekly Mitzvah Shabbos program. This program is Le'ilu Nishmas, my mother, Chane Bas Schneier Zalman. Her yahrzeit is Yud Ador. Her father, my grandfather, was the Rebbe's Melamed. The Rebbe once said that hat mir aufgestellt auf die Fies. He put me on my feet. So since the yahrzeit is Yud Ador, so I want to say the Neshama zal haben an Aliyah, and we should all be reunited speedily with Mashiach Tzidkenu. At the end of this program, if you remember last week, I mentioned about the class in Manhattan, and I said that I want to study with you, or at least show you the handwritten letters that the Rebbe wrote, our Rebbe. He was called the Ramash, to that class. So Le'ilu Nishmas, my mother, instead of learning Mishnayos, I would like to at least start to learn this what the Rebbe wrote, and if we can finish it, fine. If not, you'll be able to see it, and you can finish it yourself. Today is Tes Ador. I mentioned last week the Frierdiker Rebbe came to America Tes Ador, and I mentioned last week that he came with a small plane, 11 people. There were 5 seats left. And he said that we're not leaving until we'll fill the 5 seats. This was before the Milchome, before the war. And they filled the 5 seats. This was a very dangerous time. The Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, wasn't well. After he went through everything in Russia, as we all know, the stories of the Frierdiker Rebbe prison. And he came to America and he said, America is nicht anders. America is the same as Europe. The same mitzvahs as in Poland, in Europe, in Galicia. Torah is nitzchias. And the Rebbe was holding the whole time the manuscripts, that when he went off the plane, he took a ship he went to Sweden, he was also holding with him those manuscripts. I think I remember, I'm not 100% sure, but Rabbi Mindel told me that by the Yechidus room upstairs in 770, by near the table in a suitcase, the Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, had those manuscripts in that suitcase. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Now, being on the boat, which Rebbe Tzishtan Sora was there, and she was crying. She said in Yiddish, Eibeshter, Eibeshter, Tzores hast du nicht. Du gibst allem Zores. Du gibst andere Zores. Geld hast du als Sach und du gibst keinem nicht. Eibeshter, God, you have a lot of trouble. You have no trouble. But many people have Zores. Money you have a lot, and you don't give people. Give, my son is coming to America. He is not a well person. He's coming to break the ice of America. Those days, America was not like now. In the 40s, there was a problem with Shmira Shabbos. There was no chinuch. There was verim dikerabonim. I mean, we spoke about it many times. So she cried for her son. And the Rebbe had no money. Er hat kein Geld. Give him a $1. He should be able to do something. So he came, they arrived. the 11 people, and they, whoever was involved, I think Rabbi Jacobson, all of Shalom, was involved. There were the Kramer brothers, Stillman. They took him to the Greystone Hotel in Manhattan. All the 11 people. Maybe a few weeks later, because the Rebbe was not here yet. Our Rebbe, he was called the Ramash then. He didn't come yet. This was a few weeks after the Freit Rebbe arrived. 2 people, well-to-do people, told the Freit Rebbe, we want to make a Malava Malka for you. You need some money to function. You came here. You want to do something. You can't do without money. So we want to make a small, like a dinner, a Malava Malka. So he said, yeah. So they went, they made a Malava Malka. This was in the shul of Rabbi Young. There was in Manhattan, maybe I'll show you a picture of Rabbi Young. In Manhattan, there was Rabbi Young, he had a hall. So they made a dinner there. And Mitzvah Shabbos, so Rabbi Mindel wheeled the Rebbe, the Freit Rebbe, in a wheelchair to the kitchen. He was waiting in the kitchen while these people were getting ready for the Malava Malka. When they're ready, they called Rabbi Mindel and they said, tell the Rebbe that we are all ready for the dinner. And tell the Rebbe that we have a schedule. They have a list what the program will be. So they gave him the program. He went to the Freit Rebbe in the kitchen and he said to the Freit Rebbe that they're all ready. Now this is a program. So the Freit Rebbe said to Rabbi Mindel, read the program. So he started to read. The first thing it says, they'll sing a Zionist song. This was the custom those days, I guess. So the Freit Rebbe stopped and he said, Dem nigen vet men nicht singen. This song they will not sing. Can you imagine? Here he doesn't have a penny to his name. Penny. The people have money, they want help. And he's telling them about the program that's not going to be. Okay, the Rebbe sagt. So Rabbi Mindel went to the people. And he said to the people, the Rebbe said that this song you can't sing. They were, remember Rabbi Mindel said he was shocked. They were all shocked. It has to be. Anyways, they took a few minutes. So they told Rabbi Mindel, tell the Rebbe that we have to sing this song. This is a custom. And if not, we'll walk out. So he went to the Freit Rebbe and he said that these people said that this is their minhag, custom, and they will walk out if you don't sing the niggin. So the Freit Rebbe said to Rabbi Mindel, tell them, sollen sie gehen gesunder Heit, azay wie der Eibester is gewähnt mit uns in Europe, azay wird sei mit uns in America. Let them go home and be well. Just like God was with us in Europe, God will be with us in America. Sollen sie gehen gesunder Heit. He went to the people and he told them what the Rebbe said. He said, geht gesunder Heit. Most of the people took their coats and they left. There were some people that were left, not many. Okay. After they left, Rabbi Mindel came to the kitchen, told the Rebbe that they're ready. So he willed the Frierdiker Rebbe, and they had a dinner. They didn't make much money, but they made some money because they were not people didn't want to stay. Now some of the people who stayed was Stillman stayed, the Kramer brothers stayed, and I have the names. People stayed, but most of them left. Okay, so this is what happened a few weeks after they came to the gravestone. Now I want to say further. This was 1940. In 1947, or 48, 47, the Rebbe was already a few years in America. And they established already, they had a building already 770, because then they didn't have. And the building, the money came from this Malava Malkia. Not all the money, but this was the beginning. So they actually bought the building of 770, or they had to do with buying of the building. Maybe not the entire money. I don't remember what Rabbi Mendel said, but they started. It started from that Malava Malkia. So two people came to the Frierdiker Rebbe and said, "We gave money, but we want to see what we gave money for. We don't know. We never saw the building." So the Frierdiker Rebbe said, "Okay, you can come." They went around and they looked here, there. A while, and they didn't like what they saw. They saw some Bachrim. They said, these were Balabatisha people. They know tzitzis has to be white. But they said black tzitzis they never saw. I mean, some Bachrim should have gone to the laundry. Anyways, they never saw. So they didn't like it. They saw, when you eat, you sit on a chair and you eat with a fork. But they saw a Bacher sitting on a milk box and eating lunch, maybe with the hands, maybe with a fork. Anyways, then they saw other things. The cleanliness could have been better. So, or the shirt they mentioned. They said a shirt, if it's white, it's white. If it's black, it's black. But from white, black, white, they never saw. Anyways, they were a little bit that the building was fine, but this they didn't like. So they went to the Frierdiker Rebbe and they told him. So the Frierdiker Rebbe said, "Go to my son-in-law, the Ramash. Go to the Rebbe, he was called the Rebbe, the Ramash, and tell him what you saw." They went to the Ramash, to the Rebbe, and they told him. The Rebbe, the Ramash, became very serious. And he said that you are 100% right. It's one of the first things in Shulchan Aruch, that the person has to be clean and wear clean clothes. And he's going to speak to the Hanhola that they should see that the Bachrim should be clean and sit on a chair and eat with a fork or whatever they saw. And his Rebbe was very serious and said, "I will definitely make sure that this doesn't happen." But let me ask you a question. The Rebbe asked him, "Were you ever in a factory that they make glass crystal?" He said, "No." The Rebbe said, "Go into a factory, you'll see it's a factory. People walking around with band-aids, people walking around with aprons. It's not a fancy place, it's a factory. But when this glass is ready, beautiful crystal, and you put it in a window in a store, and you write that $10 or $15, those days a lot of money. Would you ever believe that glass comes from that factory? The money that you give," the Rebbe told him, these boys that you saw, when they get married, and they go out into the world, He says like mishpachas and mishpachas, families the way you're supposed to. Al pitoyle mitzvahs. And what they do, this is the money. This is where your money goes. All these people that go out into the world and they do in Yiddishkeit and they feed our family the way you're supposed to. They were very, very happy to hear what the Rebbe told them. This is what I wanted to tell. I know many people know this. Now, there is much more to say, but I mentioned in the beginning of this program that at least I'm going to start Lilu Nishmas, my mother, and here I'll show you the Ksav Yad of the Rebbe that he wrote to that Manhattan class that we spoke last week. And and we're going to at least learn something, at least Lilu Nishmas, instead of Mishnayos. The Rebbe writes, as you can see, Shaila, Ma tam hashinui, shebiyom rishon ba'amiras kitoiv, poirish vayara lekim es ha'oir kitoiv, ma she'enkim b'shar ha'yomim, shenem astar stam vayara lekim kitoiv. Why is the difference? The first day when the Eibishter created the world, remember, this was on the text was Bible unauthorized that speaks about creation of the world. So the Rebbe wrote something about creation. So the Rebbe says, why is it Vayara Lekim es ha'oid? The first day it says they saw the light that was good. The other days it says Vayara Lekim kitoiv. Why? What's the difference between the first day and the second day and the other days? Tshuva, the answer. Bayoim horishain librio, hu klolos habrio me'ayin hamuchlat leyesh, ubishar hayomim nitan leyesh ze tzura shoynes deshoyim chayos v'chulu. On the first day, there was a general creation from absolute nothing to something. Ayin leyesh. Now, that something did not have a form yet. It was just a matter. And the rest of the days, forms were given. Vegetables, animals, whatever it is. By Yom HaRishon, the Rebbe says, Nivru gamke nivroyim haklolim, eir, chayshech, eish, mayim, ofor, v'kayitzu b'zeh. In addition to the idea of creation being the first day, also the first day was created, a general creation, light, dark, fire, water, earth, and alike. V'hinei kol habrio, hoyleches u'mishtalemes mimadrege lemadrege yisrael yeno. The entire creation is constantly advancing from one level to another level. Bichlal, kol habriya nechlekes lechelik chiyuvi v'chelik shlili. In general, the Rebbe says, it's very interesting, the entire creation is divided into two aspects. An aspect of positive, acting, doing, when something is happening, and an aspect of not doing, when the thing is happening, where it stops happening. We'll see soon what the Rebbe means. So every creation has chiyuv, positive, doing, and stopping. V'gam chelek hashlili mukhrach ki yafshel levush tzurich hadosho kedem sheyafshi tzurich lifzeh. He says like this. He says the doing, the aspect of chiyuv is necessary. Otherwise, you're doing, you're creating. But the not doing, the stopping, is needed. Because it's not possible to give a form into something without first taking off its previous form. And that taking off the previous form is an idea of shlila, of negative. Now he gives an example. Now we'll understand. Dugma. Efsher livnois heichel melech b'mokim sheyestem beis ikor. Kim hadit sheharsu mekedem beis ikor. Efsher lavoid kedeboyi lemave. Kim acharishino mizman lezman. Hayno ha'eder avoido v'shtalmus avala. Ha'eder zu muchrachu. For example, it's impossible to build a king's palace in the very spot where there stands a peasant house. It's impossible. First you have to destroy the house, and then you can build the palace. Otherwise you can't. The same thing also. It's not possible Same thing also, it's not possible to work properly unless you sleep from time to time. You rest, which is the opposite of work, of advancement. But this not happening, destroying, is necessary. You cannot work if you don't sleep. You cannot function. So there is so the same thing also, so everything has a chiyuv and has also a shlila that you have to stop working, you have to sleep. B'dakas yaser, another dakas yaser, a more abstract example, the Rebbe says, Yalet chacham hamaschil ilmeid u'misasek belimut chachmas hacheshben b'tchil asku b'chibur chosur kevel v'chiluk heisa kabet argilim u'me'ezeh kavur zeh tzorich lafsik me'iske hakoidem v'leimid algebra. Then it was equation kaitzebe kavur zman tzorich lafsik amezeh kimuchshach sichel algebra gvay kamelo. Oh, what does that mean? So let me explain this. A more abstract way example: a smart child who begins to learn, and he's involved in learning, let's say mathematics. First, he's involved with plus, minus, times, and division, and gets used to it, and is involved in this. Afterwards, he must stop this involvement and move on to learn algebra, equation, and alike. After that, he must stop also this, because his mind is ready to advance to advanced algebra and so on. This stopping of learning from before, the easier stuff, is a must, is also necessary to advance. Very interesting. Another thing we can learn. All the above teaches us another thing. Not only by not having this negative thing will he not advance to a higher level, but what's previously considered an advancement is now in a level considered lack. And one must negate that. In other words, stopping one thing is not only necessary, negative. In order to reach higher, it actually prevents you from falling lower, from not reaching the... So v'hinei, eir b'muvan, Hayoyser Racham Nikra Chelik HaChayuvi Shebebrio Cheshach K'mo Hayoyser Racham Zeh Chelik HaShli Shebebrio Ushteim Achrachim Usachim Kanal Barucha. So based on what we just said, we can answer the question, because light in its broadest sense means the happening, the aspect of creation, and darkness means stopping to happen, the aspect of creation. But you need both, and both are necessary and vital to explain the above length. You need both. But what's the difference? Achiluk b'neihem, hu chelik oyer, hu toiv mitzad atzmai, chelik hashlishi, hashlili, choshech ein el achon el oyer, aval ein toiv. The difference between them is the light is good because the light is good by itself. However, the not happening, the darkness aspect, only is a preparation for the light, but not good by itself. Only light. And this is the last thing. V'zeu shebesipur klolus habriya chiyuv hashli shezeh hoye b'yim harish galilon kro v'yara lakim ezo oik davke chelik hachiyuvi ki toiv be'etzem olam mitosei haynu toiv mitzad atzmai mashein ki chelik hashlili choshech af shegam umuchrech v'briya kanal. And this is why when the Torah tells us the story of general creation, the light and dark, the doing and not doing aspect of creation, which this was on the first day, the pasuk says, and Hashem saw the light that is good. It's only the light which truly is good, for it's good because it's good by itself, but not the stopping, the happening, the darkness of creation, which although it's vital, it's good because it's only a preparation for the light. I mean, we still have to study more of this, but this is a one of the things that the Rebbe wrote to discuss in the class, and they discussed about it. Mamish, it was unbelievable. So we learned this little nishmas. My mother, Chana Bashne Zalman. The Rebbe's letters, Stero Mishtais, but this is the Rebbe's. So it's the Nisham Zoman Aliyah, and we should be soon with the Biyas Mashiach Tzidkenu, Tcheiz HaMeisim, Bekorev Mamish. And Mitzvah Hashem, next week we'll continue our weekly program. Thank you.